Hello, welcome to a Zendikar Worldwake Rise of the Eldrazi draft. I think I'm gonna just take this Lava Ball Trap just because there's also Arrow Volley Trap. I guess I'll take the Arrow Volley Trap. Seems a little bit better. Didn't have a lot of time to make that decision. Alright, now I have a Pitfall Trap and a Baloth Woodcrasher. Those are interesting choices. I think that's pretty much it. So another removal that is on color, or a Baloth Woodcrasher that is, well, but this is a good card, and I feel like it commits the least and also keeps wide open the most. That's really tough. I do not want to pass this guy, but I'm going to. Well, and I really shouldn't have. At least I get one anyway, though. I could also take a Hookmaster, but this is just not that as fast as a format. If this was actual just, like Zendikar Worldwake, I would take that, but, well, I guess it's not too late to take this Woodcrasher, even though the person next to me definitely took theirs. Well, there's Colony Gem, which is super slow, but it's actually not the worst when you consider Rise of the Eldrazi, because it also puts the lands back in your hand, which helps you get to like 8 or something. There's a Turntimber Basilisk, which can sort of be removal. Might just be better than taking the Colony Gem. I don't know, though. I feel like this card's going to be good because of Rise. And it also keeps my colors much more open, so... Although I can sort of cut green by taking the Basilisk. I'm going to try that. Wow, another Arrow Volley Trap. There's also a Welkin Turn in blue. The Boar in red. There's a Tazaru Archer, but clearly allies are a little weak in this format. I think I just take the second Arrow Volley Trap. Okay, well... maybe I should be white-red and ignore green. I like this guy. Worst case, it's a 4/4 for 5. Best case, it's a Air Elemental in red. Probably somewhere in between the two, depending on how many lands you end up drawing. That is definitely a sign that red is open, though, for sure. Ooh, Brave the Elements is kind of a bomb. There's also a Core Sanctifiers. There's a Tuk Grunts, but just not even close to the Sanctifiers. I like Crypt Ripper a lot, but it's kind of too late. There's a lot of good cards still in this pack. We're going to take the Sanctifiers. And the Sejiri Refuge, I guess? I guess I could take a Narrow Escape. Yeah, we're just going to take the Refuge. And I'll take the Far Guide. Their option is Bold Defense, but we'll just take the Far Guide. Could end up being useful if a lot of people play green. Well, there's Kabira Crossroads, but I will just take another Far Guide. Not playing any of these cards, so I might as well go for the value on the full art land. I could see playing this Core Cartographer. It's not the worst. And I got a Bold Defense anyway. Don't really want to play that. Don't really want to play the Core Cartographer either. Don't really want to main deck the Far Guides, but I will. Alright, well, not the most successful first pack. If I could go back in time and take the Wood Crasher over the Pitfall Trap, I would. Definitely taking a full art land there. Foil art land. Not what I intended to say. Well, here's a non-Jace Worldwake pack. I'm not going to take the Inquisitor. Not in black, like, definitely white, green, red are the things worth considering the most. I mean, I guess I could take this, but I've passed a lot of reasonable black cards. It's you got to assume that people have taken those. I think it's really like I splashing Tomb Hex is actually not the worst, but I feel like just taking Apex Hawks here is the way to go. I know white is kind of maybe a weak choice here, but I feel like this is better than trying to splash into black at this point. That is not a first pick that I want to be making, though. Ooh, especially when I could have had 2 Bloodhusk Ritualists. That's kind of insane. There's a Refraction Trap. This card can be a blowout. This is like traps.deck, though. There's a Quicksand. I mean, the trap is just clearly the pick here. Just in the hopes that it is a blowout. Well, now I have to pick basically a second color, and it's looking like green, because Bestial Menace is definitely a good card. And I like it quite a bit. There's also just another Apex Hawks, and there's an Arbor Elf, and a Colony Garden, but like the power of this card is just so much value, so. I mean, the Apex Hawks definitely fits in better with the, like, go ahead and attack me while I fly over for the win sort of strategy, but it's hard to pass up Bestial Menace, so. Ooh, Lightkeeper of Emeria, though. Seems good. There's a Horizon Drake. And Zerkar Banisher, I guess. But yeah, Lightkeeper is pretty clearly the pick here. So we'll take it. And look, we ended up getting... Wow, this guy's pretty insane. Definitely kind of want to take this, but I think the second Apex Hawks is actually the way to go here. Again, like I have 2 Arrow Volley Traps and a Refraction Trap and a Pitfall Trap. I kind of want people to be attacking me, so. And that's a really important lesson in terms of remembering what's in your deck already. I guess I'm just going mono Apex Hawks. Really glad that I did not take the Apex Hawks over the Bestial Menace. Now, yeah, I'll just take another Apex Hawks. Why not? Ooh, there's a Jagwasp Swarm. I think that's the pick, actually. There's a Dread Statuary, which is fine. There's an Explorer, which is okay. But yeah, I just take the Swarm here. Especially with all my Apex Hawks, this guy beats even a kicked Apex Hawk, so I don't really want to be dealing with those too much. Well, there's a Fledgling Griffin. Could get big with that guy. I almost feel like Marsh Threader is going to be a better choice. Meh, I could still be kind of like mono white aggro almost, but yeah, this guy is almost better. Black does seem like it's going to be played by a lot of people. I'm going to take the Marsh Threader. And I'll take the Gnarlid pack over the Hada Freeblade. I guess this guy is a 1-2, but I just am not going to have any other allies, so Yeah. It's definitely looking like green-white. I guess maybe I just take the full art land. Yeah. Don't really care about any of these cards. I could take the veteran reflexes, but I will just take the full art land. Gotta increase my collection of these guys. Yep. If I remember, I think I can add them in all limited games. Really? Okay, well I am gonna take and probably play this perimeter captain. That seems kind of crazy that that guy went around. Like white is clearly the correct color. I'll take the Brink of Disaster. I guess somebody could play that against me. Okay. So where do we stand now? Could really play anything still at this point. Well, there's a Vendetta, but there's also a Dawnglare Invoker. I think Vendetta is better, but Dawnglare Invoker is still pretty impressive. There's also a Crusher, which is certainly worth considering, and a Lust for War. But I think in this case, when you've got a bunch of flyers already, the Dawnglare Invoker is just the pick, so go ahead and take it. Probably not going to main deck the Marsh Threader. I guess this is where we stand right now. Probably not main decking the Jaguasp Swarm either, depending on what kind of fixing options are presented here. Well, there's a Flame Slash. I could splash for that. There's also an Alpha Guardhound, which I don't think this is quite the style of deck where I'd want to play that. There's a Prophetic Prism, but I'd rather take one of those when I have a reason to splash. Cadaver Imp I'm not playing. Hyena Umbra is not the worst here, but I think I'm just best off taking this Flame Slash and considering splashing red. Alright, well, there's a Makindi Griffin, a Kozilek's Predator, and a Stomper Cub. I guess there's also an Induced Despair and an Overwhelming Battlement, but I didn't actually get that many big dudes, so as weird as it may sound, like in as much as I kind of want to take Kozilek's Predator, I think Makindi Griffin is the card to take here. My strategy is definitely locked in as winning with flyers, so I need more flyers to do that. That's a tough pick. It's a very tough pick. Ooh, and a nice Wall of Omens. Man, white was the color to be for sure. Although I kind of want the Snake Umbra. I really wish I didn't have to pick this over a Wall of Omens, because that's just not happening, but Snake Umbra seems like it would be kind of a bomb in this deck. But yeah, man, I love this set. I will take a Wall of Omens. So many good cards. Well, there's nothing really for me here. I do not need a Leaf Arrow. I could hate it, but I'd rather just hate a Hada Spy Patrol, because this card is nasty. So that's what I'm doing. Definitely see somebody randomly beating me with that. Jotty Lifestrider is probably fine. Yeah. Ooh, Bramble Snap? This card's not amazing, but it's okay in this deck. I do need playables. Probably not playing those guys. This is what it looks like right now, yeah. And I do need creatures also, so sure, we'll take a Bramble Snap. Guard Duty is crucial. It's a great, great pickup. I could just take a Stalwart Shield Bearers. I do have the Perimeter Captain, Wall of Omens, Stalwart Shield Bearers combo going. There's also Traitorous Instinct, which could just randomly kill me. I do need playables though. I think I'm going to take the bears. Somebody wins with Traitorous Instinct, good for them. And yeah, I'll go ahead and take a Hyena Umbra. Seems good. Alright, I think this is our 23. Probably can't afford to splash red for the Flame Slash even. Too many like multi-kickers and stuff. Ooh. I do have a Vent Sentinel though for random wins. Could also play an Anatu Golem. I'll just take the Vent Sentinel for random wins. Ooh, and there's an Outrider. Excellent. Okay, so yeah, now I don't think I splash red. I think this is the deck right here. Oh, not full art. No. This is the most relevant card. Alright. I don't think this deck is going to be good enough. We'll see. It's kind of fun though. Alright, so let's start with white. 2 Arrow Volley Traps or Refraction Trap. Makindi Griffin, Lightkeeper. Core Cartographer could make the cut, but probably not. Pitfall Trap. Sanctifiers, Dawnglare Invoker. Bold Defense could potentially make the cut. 3 Apex Hawks. Marsh Threader is not going to be in the main deck. Probably not the Bearer, if I can avoid. Wall of Omens, Outrider, Perimeter Captain, Hyena Umbra, Guard Duty. That's a lot of good stuff. Then we have Bramble Snap, Gnarlid Pack, Turntimber Basilisk, Life Strider, Bestial Menace, and Wood Crasher. Let's actually keep these aside. I'm guessing these are what we're going to play, but like our other option is like play some of these and then like Flame Slash, Vent Sentinel, Geyser Glider. I don't know, what is the count if I put these guys in? 22. Really tempted to splash this Flame Slash. I think my best option is to that's so expensive. That's not too bad though. I almost feel like Core Cartographer is actually just the best play here. So bad. But my land is going to be a little tough. I really don't need the acceleration that it offers, so maybe I'm better off just playing a Marsh Threader or even a Far Guide. Yeah, I feel like I'm better off with just a Far Guide. Like, enough people are probably going to play green. Although, I am tempted to splash for the Flame Slash. Okay, let's add the land, see what this looks like. Yeah, it's kind of rough. I could go down to 8, 6, 3. But with all the multi-kicker and stuff, I don't think... I think maybe boarding this in if I really need it is a better idea. I think with the Perimeter Captain, the Guard Duty, the Wall of Omens, and all this stuff, I really just want another big threat in my deck. So basically my only choice is Zendikar Farguide. Like, as much as that isn't really a big threat, I do have a lot of creatures. Maybe Bold Defense is the right call. It is a combat trick. I feel like I'm kind of just trying to overload them on my creatures, though, so let's give this a try. 10-7. That seems correct to me. And then we bring in a nice Cool Forest. Yeah, I think an argument could be made for the Bold Defense over the Far Guide. And I think an argument could be made for the Flame Slash, but with 3 Apex Hawks and a Gnarlid pack, probably just better off with the nice 2-color deck, so we'll give it a try.